If you're over 60, you probably already know that every single bite you put in your mouth matters more than ever before. The food choices you make can either add years of vibrant, healthy living to your life or quietly chip away at your energy, your mobility, and even your brain power. And here's the shocking truth that most people never hear. Some of the so-called healthy fish that people are eating for protein and omega-3s might actually be doing more harm than good, especially if you're in your 60s or older. Today, I'm going to reveal the 4 worst fishes that you should never touch, never cook, never put on your plate, because they can sabotage your health in ways that are silent, sneaky, and dangerous. And don't worry, I'll also guide you through smarter choices that truly support your body as you age. So stick with me until the end. Now, before we jump in, let me ask you a simple question. Have you ever been told that fish is always healthy? Maybe you've heard doctors, nutritionists, or friends say, "Oh, fish is lean protein, it's great for your heart, it's brain food, eat more of it." And yes, while certain kinds of fish are absolutely beneficial, the truth is that not all fish are created equal. In fact, some types of fish are loaded with hidden toxins, mercury, heavy metals, parasites, and even chemicals from polluted waters. And here's the catch. Your body at 60 and beyond doesn't detox the same way it used to in your 20s or 30s. Your liver, your kidneys, your digestion, they all work a little slower, which means those toxins can build up inside your system much more easily, and that can lead to problems with memory, joint pain, inflammation, fatigue, and even increase your risk for serious diseases. So let's break this myth once and for all. Fish is not automatically healthy. There are safe fish and there are harmful fish. And if you're over 60, you cannot afford to gamble with your health by eating the wrong ones. So let's dive right in. The first fish that you should never touch is tilapia. Now I know what you're thinking. Tilapia is cheap, it's easy to find, it's mild tasting, and it's on almost every restaurant menu. But here's the ugly truth. Most tilapia on the market isn't wild caught. It's farm-raised, and farm-raised tilapia is one of the most contaminated fishes out there. These fish are often raised in overcrowded tanks where the water is filled with waste, antibiotics, and chemicals. And because tilapia is naturally a bottom feeder, it tends to consume all the junk and toxins in its environment. What does that mean for you? It means that every bite of tilapia you take is a bite of inflammation fuel. Studies have actually shown that tilapia contains high levels of omega-6 fatty acids, which are the bad kind that trigger inflammation in the body. That's the exact opposite of what you want at this stage in your life. After 60, your joints are already more vulnerable, your immune system is more sensitive, and the last thing you need is to throw more gasoline on the fire with inflammatory foods. Eating tilapia regularly has even been linked to higher risks of heart disease, arthritis flare-ups, and worse cholesterol profiles. So even though it's cheap, even though it's popular, tilapia is not doing your body any favors. In fact, you're much better off spending a little more on a cleaner, safer fish than saving a couple of dollars and damaging your health. Now let's move to the second fish you should avoid, and this one might surprise you: swordfish. Swordfish might look impressive at the seafood counter, and many people assume it's a great choice because it's meaty and high in protein. But here's the hidden danger. Swordfish is one of the absolute highest mercury fish you can possibly eat. Mercury is a heavy metal that builds up in your tissues over time, and it's incredibly toxic, especially for your brain and your nervous system. After 60, your brain health is one of the most precious things you need to protect because your risk for memory decline, dementia, and cognitive issues naturally increases with age. The last thing you need is a fish that dumps heavy metals into your system and accelerates that decline. Mercury doesn't just leave your body quickly. It stays, accumulates, and can lead to symptoms like brain fog, poor memory, fatigue, numbness, vision problems, and even depression. And because swordfish are big predators that live a long time, they accumulate huge amounts of mercury by eating smaller fish over and over again. So when you eat swordfish, you're eating the concentrated toxins of an entire food chain. That's why experts actually warn pregnant women, children, and yes, older adults to completely avoid swordfish. If you care about your memory, your mood, your balance, and your overall energy, swordfish should never make it onto your plate. The third fish that should never touch your fork is king mackerel. Now, notice I said king mackerel, not all mackerel. There are safer varieties of mackerel, but the king mackerel is another fish loaded with mercury. And just like swordfish, that mercury is a silent, long-term threat that builds up in your body. But there's another problem here. King mackerel often comes from polluted waters where it's exposed to industrial chemicals and toxins like PCBs, polychlorinated biphenyls, which are linked to cancer, hormone disruption, and immune problems. At age 60 and beyond, your immune system is already more delicate, and your hormones are more sensitive to disruption. Why put extra stress on your body with a fish that carries this toxic load? Not only does mercury from king mackerel mess with your brain, but it also interferes with your cardiovascular system. And for people over 60, protecting your heart health is absolutely essential. King mackerel simply isn't worth the risk when there are so many cleaner, safer fish you can choose instead. And now we come to the fourth fish you should never eat. And this one is another big shocker because it's so common and so widely consumed. Farmed salmon. Now, before you panic, let me be clear. Wild-caught salmon is one of the healthiest, most nutrient-rich fishes you can eat. It's packed with omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and protein that support your joints, your brain, your heart, and even your skin. But farmed salmon, it's a completely different story. Farmed salmon are raised in overcrowded pens, fed unnatural diets of processed pellets instead of their natural food sources, and treated with antibiotics and chemicals to keep them alive in those conditions. The result is a fish that looks like salmon but is far inferior in nutrition and far higher in toxins. Farmed salmon often contains higher levels of omega-6 fats that promote inflammation, lower levels of beneficial omega-3s, and traces of pesticides and artificial coloring. Yes, believe it or not, farmed salmon are often dyed pink because without the artificial color, their flesh would look gray. And here's the real danger. Farmed salmon has been found to contain carcinogenic compounds and contaminants that can harm your immune system and increase your risk of chronic disease. For older adults who are already more vulnerable, that's a risk you should never take. Wild salmon is worth every penny because it actually gives you health benefits, while farmed salmon is a cheap imitation that can damage your health. You might be thinking, if these are the 4 worst fishes I should never eat, what should I choose instead? Because let's be honest, fish can be an incredible source of nutrition if you pick the right kinds. And you're absolutely right. Instead of tilapia, swordfish, king mackerel, or farmed salmon, choose wild-caught salmon, sardines, trout, herring, or smaller fish like anchovies. These options are low in mercury, high in clean omega-3s, and much safer for your body. Sardines, for example, are tiny but packed with nutrients like calcium, vitamin D, and protein, all of which are critical after 60 to keep your bones strong and your muscles healthy. Trout is another fantastic option that's widely available, delicious, and much lower in toxins. And wild-caught salmon, of course, remains one of the gold standards for brain and heart health. What I want you to take away from today's video is this: just because something is labeled as fish doesn't automatically make it good for you. You have to be a smart, informed eater, especially after 60, when your body's defenses aren't as strong as they used to be. The wrong fish can weigh you down with toxins, damage your memory, worsen your joint pain, and speed up the aging process. But the right fish can give you energy, sharpen your mind, strengthen your heart, and help you feel youthful and vibrant, even in your golden years. Next time you're at the grocery store or a restaurant, remember these 4 names: tilapia, swordfish, king mackerel, and farmed salmon. If you see them, skip them. Protect your health by saying no, and instead reach for wild-caught, nutrient-rich options that will truly fuel your body. Your health at 60 and beyond is precious. Every bite you take is an investment in how you feel tomorrow, next month, and even 5 years from now. So let's make choices that keep us strong, clear-headed, and full of life. Sardines and anchovies are often overlooked in the world of seafood, but for seniors over 60, they are some of the most powerful foods you could possibly add to your plate. These tiny fish pack an incredible nutritional punch, and because they are so small and live low on the food chain, they come with far fewer risks of mercury contamination compared to larger fish. That's an important advantage because as the body ages, the ability to handle toxins and heavy metals decreases, and minimizing exposure becomes critical for protecting long-term health. But what truly makes sardines and anchovies special is the combination of calcium, vitamin D, and protein they deliver in every bite. A trio of nutrients that directly target some of the most important concerns for older adults, especially bone and muscle health. Let's start with calcium, because maintaining bone strength after 60 is one of the biggest challenges many people face. Bones naturally lose density with age, especially after menopause for women, and this increases the risk of fractures, osteoporosis, and mobility issues. Calcium is the mineral that gives bones their strength and structure, and while many people think of milk or dairy products as the best source, sardines and anchovies offer a surprising advantage. When you eat these small fish whole, including their soft, edible bones, you're getting a concentrated source of highly absorbable calcium. This is different from supplements, which don't always absorb efficiently, and different from dairy, which not everyone tolerates well as they age. Sardines, in particular, are one of the richest natural food sources of calcium, making them a smart, functional choice for seniors who want to keep their skeleton strong and resilient. Strong bones mean more independence, fewer falls leading to fractures, and greater confidence in staying active and mobile well into the later decades of life. But calcium doesn't work alone. It needs vitamin D to help the body absorb and use it effectively. And this is another area where sardines and anchovies shine. Vitamin D deficiency is extremely common among older adults because the skin becomes less efficient at producing it from sunlight. And many people spend less time outdoors as they get older. Low vitamin D levels contribute not only to weaker bones, but also to muscle weakness, increased risk of infections, low mood, and even cognitive decline. Sardines are one of the rare foods that naturally provide vitamin D, and when you combine that with their calcium content, you have a perfect nutrient partnership. Calcium strengthens the bones, and vitamin D ensures it gets to the right place and does its job. This is one of the reasons why sardines are often recommended as a natural food remedy for osteoporosis prevention and management. Anchovies, too, contribute vitamin D in smaller amounts, and when incorporated regularly into meals, they help close that common nutrient gap that supplements alone don't always fix. And then there's protein, which becomes even more important after the age of 60. The gradual decline in muscle mass, known as sarcopenia, affects nearly everyone as they grow older. Without enough protein, muscles weaken, strength decreases, and everyday activities like climbing stairs, carrying groceries, or even getting up from a chair can become harder. Protein also supports healing, tissue repair, immune function, and the production of hormones and enzymes that keep the body running smoothly. Sardines and anchovies provide a clean, easily digestible form of protein that the body can put to use right away. This makes them ideal for seniors who may not tolerate heavy meats, as well as they're used to but still need to hit their protein goals to preserve strength and vitality. Having sardines or anchovies as part of regular meals can make a noticeable difference in maintaining lean muscle mass, keeping energy levels steady, and preventing the frailty that often limits independence in older age. What makes sardines and anchovies particularly remarkable compared to other protein sources is their nutrient density combined with their low toxin load. Larger fish like tuna or swordfish accumulate mercury over time because they live longer and eat other fish, concentrating toxins in their tissues. Sardines and anchovies, being small and fast growing, don't accumulate nearly the same levels of mercury or other pollutants, which makes them some of the safest seafood options for seniors. This means you can enjoy them regularly without worrying about heavy metal buildup, which is especially important when your body's detoxification systems may not work as efficiently as they once did. Choosing these small fish is a way of getting all the benefits of seafood: the protein, the healthy fats, the vitamins, and the minerals, without the downsides that come with the bigger, predatory species. And let's not forget that sardines and anchovies also contain significant amounts of omega-3 fatty acids, the same heart and brain supporting fats found in salmon. These omega-3s help lower inflammation, protect arteries, reduce the risk of heart disease, and support cognitive function. For seniors, that means better memory, improved mood, and more protection against dementia and depression. The combination of protein for muscles, calcium and vitamin D for bones, and omega-3s for the heart and brain makes sardines and anchovies a truly comprehensive food for healthy aging. Few other foods offer such a wide range of benefits in such a small package, and that's what makes them so unique and valuable. Another often overlooked benefit is their richness in trace minerals like phosphorus, magnesium, selenium, and iron, all of which play supporting roles in bone health, energy production, and immune defense. Phosphorus, for example, works alongside calcium to strengthen bones and teeth. Magnesium supports muscle function and helps regulate blood pressure. Selenium acts as a powerful antioxidant, protecting cells from oxidative damage that accelerates aging, while iron supports healthy red blood cell production and oxygen delivery throughout the body. When you eat sardines or anchovies, you're not just getting one or two nutrients, you're getting a full spectrum of essential building blocks that support nearly every system in your body. And that diversity is what makes them so powerful for seniors who need comprehensive nourishment in smaller, manageable portions. It's also worth noting that sardines and anchovies come in forms that make them incredibly accessible and easy to include in a daily diet. They're often available canned, preserved in oil, water, or brine, which means they're convenient, shelf-stable, and budget-friendly. Seniors don't always want to deal with the hassle of cooking complicated meals, and the simplicity of opening a can and adding sardines or anchovies to salads, toast, pasta, or vegetables makes it much easier to stick with healthy habits. Convenience matters when building long-term routines, and these fish deliver that without sacrificing nutrition. Plus, because they're preserved whole, they often retain more of their nutrients compared to fillets of larger fish that may lose some of their value during processing. The edible bones in sardines, in particular, make them unique because you're literally consuming a natural calcium supplement that your body can absorb more efficiently than most pills. The flavor of sardines and anchovies is another aspect worth mentioning. They have a bold, distinct taste that may take some getting used to, but this flavor also allows them to enhance dishes without needing large amounts. Anchovies, for example, are famous for being used in sauces and dressings, like the classic Caesar salad dressing, where just a small amount adds a savory depth of flavor known as umami. Sardines can be enjoyed on crackers, blended into spreads, or served alongside fresh vegetables for a simple, nutrient-packed meal. This versatility means seniors can adapt them into their diet in ways that suit their preferences, whether they enjoy them straight from the can or as part of more creative recipes. Learning to appreciate these flavors can open the door to consistent intake. And with consistency comes the long-term health benefits that really matter for seniors looking to protect their independence. Incorporating sardines and anchovies is like making a deposit into a health savings account. Every serving contributes to stronger bones, reducing the risk of fractures and falls. Every serving supports muscles, ensuring mobility and strength for everyday life. Every serving nourishes the heart and brain, providing resilience against some of the most common health challenges of aging. These small fish may not look impressive, but the cumulative effect of eating them regularly is profound. In many cultures around the world, sardines and anchovies are staple foods, and the populations that consume them often enjoy lower rates of osteoporosis, cardiovascular disease, and cognitive decline. There's wisdom in those traditions, and for seniors today, adopting the same habits can be a way of tapping into that longevity. When we talk about wild-caught salmon, we're talking about one of the most nutrient-rich foods you could ever include in your diet. And for seniors over 60, this fish is like nature's perfect medicine in disguise. The beauty of wild salmon is that it isn't just a source of protein. which of course is essential for maintaining muscle mass as you age, but it's also loaded with unique compounds that directly target the areas of health that matter most as you grow older: your heart, your brain, and even your skin. One of the first things people often hear about salmon is that it's high in omega-3 fatty acids, but many don't really understand what that means for their bodies, especially past the age of 60. Omega-3s aren't just any kind of fat. They're essential fats that your body cannot produce on its own, which means you have to get them from food. And when you get them from wild-caught salmon, you're giving your body one of the cleanest and richest natural sources available. For the heart, omega-3s are like a protective shield. As we age, arteries naturally begin to stiffen. Blood vessels may lose some of their elasticity, and cholesterol levels often rise. All of these changes increase the risk for heart disease, which remains the #1 cause of death among older adults worldwide. But omega-3s help reduce inflammation in the blood vessels, lower triglycerides, support healthy cholesterol balance, and even keep blood pressure in check. Eating wild-caught salmon regularly can improve circulation and reduce the likelihood of blood clots forming, which is crucial for preventing heart attacks and strokes. Seniors who include salmon in their diets often find that they feel more energetic because their cardiovascular system is working more efficiently, delivering oxygen and nutrients to the body without as much strain on the heart. What makes this even more powerful is that the omega-3s in salmon aren't just about prevention. They also help if you already have heart concerns, because they act to calm inflammation that may already be present in the body. Now let's talk about the brain, because after 60, protecting memory, focus, and mental clarity is absolutely essential. The brain is made up of nearly 60% fat, and a large portion of that fat is DHA, one of the specific omega-3 fatty acids that salmon provides in abundance. DHA is literally a building block of the brain and is critical for the proper function of neurons, the cells that send signals throughout your nervous system. Without enough DHA, communication between brain cells becomes sluggish, and that can lead to forgetfulness, brain fog, and even more serious cognitive decline. But when you consume wild-caught salmon, you are essentially feeding your brain with the exact raw materials it needs to stay sharp. Research has shown that seniors who consume more omega-3 rich fish like salmon have a significantly lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. And it's not just about preventing disease, it's about maintaining day sharpness. Many people over 60 notice improvements in focus, reaction times, and even mood when they eat salmon regularly. Omega-3s also play a role in producing neurotransmitters like serotonin, which is why salmon can help stabilize mood, reduce the risk of depression, and support a sense of calm and well-being. And then there's the skin, which many people overlook when they think about fish, but it's one of the areas where salmon shines the brightest. As you age, collagen levels naturally decrease, skin loses elasticity, and dryness becomes more common. Antioxidants and healthy fats become critical for maintaining skin health, and salmon delivers both in abundance. One of the unique compounds found in wild-caught salmon is astaxanthin, a powerful antioxidant that gives salmon its rich pink color. Astaxanthin has been studied for its ability to protect skin cells from oxidative stress caused by free radicals and sun exposure, which means it helps reduce wrinkles, maintain elasticity, and give skin a more youthful glow. For seniors, this isn't just about vanity. It's about protecting the skin as the body's largest organ. Healthy skin serves as a barrier against infections and external irritants. And when it's supported with antioxidants like astaxanthin and nourished with omega-3 fats, it stays resilient longer. Seniors who eat salmon often notice that their skin feels more hydrated, smoother, and less prone to irritation or redness, which is a huge benefit when dryness and sensitivity are common complaints in later years. But the story of wild-caught salmon doesn't stop with just omega-3 as an antioxidants. It's also packed with high-quality protein that the body can easily digest and use. Protein becomes more and more important after 60 because muscle mass naturally declines with age, a process known as sarcopenia. Without enough protein, muscles weaken, mobility decreases, and the risk of falls and fractures increases. Wild-caught salmon provides not only the protein needed to maintain strength, but also the essential amino acids that repair tissues, support healing, and maintain overall vitality. And because salmon is easier to digest compared to red meats, it's often better tolerated by older digestive systems. Another key benefit lies in its rich supply of vitamins and minerals. Wild salmon is a fantastic source of vitamin B12, which is critical for nerve health, energy production, and red blood cell formation. Many older adults are deficient in B12 because absorption declines with age, and that can lead to fatigue, weakness, and even cognitive problems. Eating salmon can help replenish those stores naturally. It also provides vitamin D, which is essential for bone health, immune function, and mood regulation. Seniors often struggle with vitamin D deficiency because of reduced sun exposure and changes in the skin's ability to produce vitamin D. So getting it from food sources like salmon is incredibly important. On top of that, wild salmon contains selenium, a trace mineral that supports thyroid health, boosts immunity, and works together with antioxidants to protect cells from damage. What really sets wild-caught salmon apart from farmed salmon is the purity of its nutrients. Because wild salmon live in their natural environments and eat their natural diets, they develop cleaner, healthier fat profiles and accumulate fewer contaminants. Farmed salmon, on the other hand, are often exposed to antibiotics, pesticides, and unnatural feed that alters their nutritional makeup. That's why for seniors who want the full protective benefits of omega-3s, antioxidants, and vitamins without the extra toxins, wild-caught salmon is worth the investment. When seniors include wild-caught salmon in their meals 2 to 3 times per week, the cumulative benefits begin to show up in subtle but powerful ways. Energy levels become steadier, mental clarity improves, skin looks healthier, and overall resilience to stress and illness increases. It's not an exaggeration to say that salmon can act like a multi-nutrient supplement straight from nature, but in a form that your body recognizes and uses far more efficiently than pills or powders. And unlike highly processed foods that tax the body's systems, salmon works with your biology, enhancing what's already there and filling in the gaps that naturally appear with age. It's also incredibly versatile in the kitchen, which means seniors don't have to struggle with complicated recipes to enjoy it. It can be baked, grilled, poached, or even enjoyed as lox. And each preparation still delivers the same heart, healthy, brain protective, skin supporting nutrients. By keeping wild, caught salmon as a regular staple in the diet, seniors can take advantage of the compounding effects that come from consistent nourishment. Because health after 60 is less about quick fixes and more about building long-term habits that support vitality,